I think one of the key defining features of me is that, say I'm on a football pitch and I miss a chance, and I often miss chances, easy chances even. I don't care.
Yep.
I don't care.
Same. I think you just think about the next chance.
Yeah.
One is, when is the next chance coming?
Yeah.
And the second is, how do I put myself in a position
Yeah.
to take the next chance when it comes?
Just consistently put yourself in the best position.
Yeah.
Over a period of time, you'll win.
Yeah.
Break through it. Don't be limited by it. Either way, there's more than two ways now. It's not binary anymore because of the different labels that you gave me. I think you can do very well.
Yep.
Key is to be able to think it through and strive.
Yep. Understand yourself.
That's the key. Hi everyone, this is the fifth episode of Bar Talk.
Yep.
Tonight we're going to talk about a topic that we've been discussing.
Yes.
That is introversion and extroversion. Nowadays, people seem to really care about your personality type.
Yep.
And in Hong Kong, they often ask, are you an I or an E?
Yep.
What do you think? What do you make of it?
I think that what started out as something that is quite interesting and maybe good to know, whether you're more inclined to being a shy person, introvert, or you're more outgoing and suddenly more extroverted, has turned into something a lot bigger, but perhaps not in a good way. I think too much emphasis is being placed now on whether you're introverted or extroverted.
Yeah.
And like you said, what your personality type is, like the 16.
What is your personality type? What are you?
What do you think? Do you think I'm introverted or extroverted?
Introverted. I,
correct.
I-N?
I-N, yeah.
Well, I'm not too sure about the rest too. What are you?
Why don't we let the viewers guess in the comments what the other two letters you think are?
I'll happily share mine. I can't quite remember, but I'll happily share mine. Mine is, and I've done it twice.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely think you're introverted.
I am.
Yeah.
On both occasions, it's exactly the same. ISTJ, introverted, observant, thinking, judging, assertive.
Right.
The interesting thing is, I am 53% introverted, 54% observant. So
you're
sort
very
of in the middle.
Yeah, very
not that observant, not that introverted. I'm 79% thinking.
Okay.
And 69% judging, and 74% assertive.
Yeah.
So not that introverted, not that observant, but very much thinking, judging, and assertive.
Interesting.
I don't know what to make of it. I'm not that much of a believer in this sort of I'm a personality type
the MBTI
test.
Thing.
I'm not. I'm a big fan of Ray Dalio, the founder of the biggest hedge fund in the world, Bridgewater, and I love his book, Principles, and he's a big fan of personality type tests. He really thinks that it helps him make management decisions.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't think it's that crucial in determining what sort of position you should be occupying. No, I'm not. I don't know if it's because I'm from an older generation, but back in my days, no one talked about whether you're introverted or extroverted. Certainly, if you were in a boarding school, no one gives a damn.
Yeah, it's quite a new phenomenon, this whole identifying whether somebody is an introvert or an extrovert.
Yeah, and what I particularly don't like is it seems that nowadays, culturally, if you're introverted, you're considered to be at a disadvantage.
Yes.
I never, ever believed in that. I think you need proper social skills.
Yeah.
You need to be able to communicate. But what's wrong with being an introverted person?
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
It seems that society rewards people who are more extroverted, I think. So that, and because of that, people think that being introverted puts you at a disadvantage.
I disagree with that. I totally think that introverted people are just as admirable. And I often think that introverted people because they are able to think on their own. They spend time on their own, recharging themselves. They to a certain extent know themselves better, and are able to articulate themselves better. And for example, I certainly find them better at being content creators because I actually think that being content creators, you need to be able to really think and design and prepare.
Yeah, actually, it's quite interesting. I've spoken to a couple of content creator friends that I have as well.
Yeah,
and people would think that doing content creation, putting yourself in front of a camera, speaking it to an audience, you're more naturally going to be extroverted.
Yeah.
But I think surprisingly, you'll find a lot of content creators are actually introverted.
Yeah.
A lot, like a majority actually.
Yeah, my girlfriend Hiromi is introverted.
Yes, definitely.
I know of many content creators who are introverted.
Yes.
They don't actually have a very vibrant social life.
No.
And they like being in their own company.
Yes.
More than being in parties.
Yeah, I think that's the one. I think that's also something that's quite quite often misunderstood about introversion, extroversion. People think that if you're an introvert, you're quite shy and quite reserved. Whilst if you're an extrovert, you're quite outgoing and sociable. I think that is one way that introversion, extroversion sort of manifests itself. But how you really decide if somebody is introverted or extroverted comes from the point that you just said. It's about whether you enjoy spending time with yourself, like, being with your thoughts, planning ideas. Are you comfortable by yourselves? Do you get energy from being alone? Do you recharge by being yourself?
I was going to ask, what is the chief definition of extroversion and introversion? And from what I can see, what I can tell, the best definition is whether you recharge yourself by being in the company of others or by being alone.
Yep.
I'm definitely the latter.
Yep, same here. I think that's how I understand.
Yeah, I get drained from being in parties, gatherings.
Yep. But there are some people who we know we must have a lot of extroverted friends.
My mom.
They get energy from being surrounded by lots of people.
Yeah. She needs to be at dinners, parties, to recharge herself. She never found it a chore to go to social events and connect with people. She needed it to survive, in my opinion.
For introverts like us, it sounds like a nightmare, right?
Yeah. I think my mom is 99% extroverted.
Wow.
She doesn't like being alone. I think she hates it.
Yes.
Whereas I love being alone.
You love being alone.
I think solitary confinement suits me, provided I can read.
Yep.
I think I get more joy from being with a book than being with people.
Yep.
I mean it. But I think the thing is, nowadays some people think that it's one or the other.
Yes.
So if you are introverted, you don't have the sort of social skills to communicate with people. I'm against that. I think if you had a decent education, if you were properly socialized enough in your upbringing, you naturally have enough social skills to handle the sort of, normal life situations. And I certainly have that. I think because of my upbringing, I am able to socialize with people. I have good social skills, I think. It's just that deep down, I prefer to be alone, but it doesn't mean we are afraid of being with people.
Yes, I think people often misunderstand that what you just said about being with other people, and then they think of it in a very binary way.
Yeah, binary.
You're either introverted or extroverted, and if you're able to socialize with others, it automatically makes you extroverted. And if you can't socialize with others, it makes you introverted. People watching this podcast, hearing me speak, will probably think that I'm definitely extroverted. And I've been at a lot of social gatherings where this topic has come up, over drinks or whatever, and then I will say, "Oh, I'm introverted," and they'll be very surprised, and they'll say, "Oh, but you're talking to lots of people," which to me actually means they fundamentally don't understand what introversion, extroversion is. Because like you said, introverts are able to socialize. We're not socially inept. It's just we take our energy from being alone. Not from other people.
Yeah.
There's a term that people don't really seem to use when they talk about introverts and extroverts, which is an ambivert, which is, I think, a term that's used to describe people who are sort of in between, 50-50 like you, or people who are able to adapt either way.
Yep.
So you might be slightly more extroverted, maybe 70-30,
Yep.
but you sometimes draw energy from being alone, or you're slightly introverted, but sometimes you actually do like to go out and meet people.
And I do think people are malleable anyway.
Yeah.
I think growing up when I was young, I was much more introverted. Had I taken the same test when I was a teenager, I think I would have been 70% introverted, probably.
Probably, yeah.
But you can change. And you will develop different views as you grow older.
Yep.
And as I grow older, I think I'm becoming more extroverted.
Yep.
But the key is this two-part nature to it. There's nature.
Yep.
Your DNA, you're born to be like that.
Yep.
But there's nurture.
Yes.
I think people underestimate the influence of nurture.
Yes.
To me, I think my nurture has had a more profound influence on me than my nature. And I do count good education as my blessing, but from my personal experience, I certainly felt that we can change. We can. It's not fixed. It's not like you're just discovering what you are like. You can pick up skills here and there, and you can realize different parts of you.
Yeah.
And I never think that we are a single dimension.
Yes.
By nature, we're not. I think that, for example, I'm multifaceted.
Yes.
I think that I have different sides of me. They're all part of me.
Yep.
Now we're getting a bit philosophical because one of my favorite
That's what we
philosophers,
love.
David Hume, thinks that there's no I, there's no me. There's only a bundle of different features of you, and
different
at any time you just show your different sides.
I see.
He's a skeptic, and I am a skeptic too, to be honest. So I can't be certain, but all I'm saying is that to think that we are a one-dimensional creature, I think is misleading for sure.
Yep. The whole introvert extroverted thing, it does seem to be a bit of an oversimplification now of people's personalities. Like, so people are very multifaceted, not just in introversion extroversion, but just personality and character.
Yeah, I think it's human nature to want to pigeonhole people because it makes you easier to sort of categorize and summarize and make draw conclusions on people.
Yes. Do you think that's why this whole introversion extroversion thing has become quite popular in the last few years?
To me, it's an excuse. I think you want to put an easy label on people, and it seems easier to just not adapt and not bother really with socializing with people. But I say this, even if you're introverted, and I'm very much on the introverted side, you can't give up on people. You still have to care about others. You still have to work with others. You still have to have this sense of community. As I grow older, I think I increasingly feel that we're all connected. And whatever doesn't benefit the whole doesn't benefit yourself. I think that's just imprudence. I don't think it's nothing to do with extroversion and introversion.
No, it doesn't.
It's just you not being emotionally intelligent enough.
Yes.
And being an introvert or an extrovert isn't an excuse to excuse themselves from being socially adept. And what I say to them is that you can have your nature, but if you forget that you're part of the whole, part of the community, that you're here to help each other, not to prove yourself right, then you're making a grave mistake. And I think it's a Hong Kong issue because I think most people grew up still in the last generation not fully embracing the concept of society, because Hong Kong is one of the most individualized society. There's no concept of nation, country, sense of belonging. Everyone is in a fluid state. I might acquire foreign nationality. I might move abroad.
Yep.
All the sort of education, financial plannings we do is to ensure that we can move about.
Yep.
We are the most right-wing, one of the most right-wing societies I can imagine. So people are very atomized.
Yep.
We think that we should all work for ourselves, not giving a damn about each other. Get the money and get the hell out.
Yes. There's quite a strong sense of self here, people.
In recent years, I do notice this change because of societal events, disasters and things like that. And there's an increasing sense of community. But I still think that deep down, the way we grew up, we very much prioritize individual over sense of community.
Yep.
And when you do that, you often blame it on introversion. I'm an introvert, and therefore I don't know how to care about the others. And it's not my fault exactly. It's just who I am. I don't accept that. I think that that's just lazy.
So how do you advise these people that come to you who tell you this in their workplace?
Go back to your human nature. I think that if you really go back to your fundamental human nature, you would sense that you are part of the hive. You're just one of the bees.
You're just one of the bees.
And whatever benefits society benefits you. Whatever doesn't benefit society end up causing you trouble. And as I grow older, I do think that it takes wisdom. It takes time for you to realize. I increasingly think that we work to benefit each other.
As a part of a community. Sort of.
Yeah. And whether you are an introvert or extrovert makes no real difference.
Not really, probably.
No. And I still value introversion a lot because I think the real thinkers, people who really have depth, tend to be introverts. I defend them. I'm one. You are one. I think that to be able to sustain long periods of loneliness, being alone, not exactly lonely, but being alone, and being able to think about hard issues,
and being comfortable being alone.
You need to be a bit of an introvert. If you are too much of an extrovert, you just won't give yourself or won't find yourself comfortable confronting hard issues that require time and space to really think it through. So I understand that extroverts might find it easier in life to some extent, but I do think that people who will make a real difference, fundamental, crucial difference, are introverts because of the depth required. So I defend them.
I'm curious to know what our viewers think on this sort of.
I think many of them would be inspired by our views because I don't think it's a very controversial view. I really think that this is the truth.
There's one more type of personality which is very new in this introvert extroverted context, which I only learnt about quite recently, and it's called an Introvert. I'm not sure if you've ever heard this term. So
I haven't.
I'll tell you what it is, and I'm curious to get your thoughts, actually, because it relates to what you just said about the people in the workplace kind of wanting to shun other people and thinking that their way of doing things is right. So this Introvert term is a new sort of personality type, which is proposed by a psychiatrist called Dr. Rami Kaminsky in 2025.
2025?
So
that new.
Very, very new. And then it was sort of in the New York. There was an article in the New York Times which sort of how this thing took off. And it basically describes people who are socially capable. So they sort of fit the cliched extroverted mold in that sense. But they don't enjoy belonging to groups or being part of a community. So that's the sort of cliched introverted side of things. And they're described as people who feel comfortable in group settings, socializing, but they always feel like an observer rather than a participant. And they have very good emotional independence, like an introvert, and that they don't require validation. But they're quite friendly and warm, which is kind of like the sociable side of things. So it's a sort of individual type. It's basically, in short, it's a personality type where they're very comfortable in their own skin. They don't feel like they have to conform to others. But socially, they are very good at being in a group.
Quite an ideal type, wouldn't you
Yeah,
say?
so it sounds like quite
Quite an
idealistic, right?
ideal type.
Other than the fact, yeah, except for the not wanting to conform thing.
But it's such a subgroup.
It's a very specific subgroup. But I think it just shows, like we said, that this whole introvert extrovert thing is so nuanced.
Yeah. I have to say, I'm no big fan of psychiatry or even psychology.
So, yeah.
I've always rejected it. I still remember when I was doing my GCSEs as a 15-year-old. My school actually offered psychology as an A-level subject. I don't think psychology is offered as a GCSE subject. No,
not sure.
I don't think you can study
I
psychology
didn't have the
at
option to do
GCSE.
either.
You can do philosophy nowadays.
Yep, you can.
But psychology was one of the most popular A-level subjects at my school.
Right.
And I instantly decided I would never take up that subject, partly because it was quite biology based.
Yeah.
Biology was my worst high school subject. Physics being my second worst. Unbelievable. Just had dinner with a friend who did physics at uni. But no, I still find psychology and psychiatry. I'm not going to dismiss it completely, but I do find it a bit of quasi pseudo. I don't want to use the word pseudo, but quasi science.
Yeah. I know between philosophy and psychology.
I go
every
for
day of the
philosophy.
week it'll be philosophy for you.
Yeah, you can use reason for philosophy. You can be very analytical about it.
Yep.
Psychology, psychiatry.
Yep. I think some
think
of the
that-
concepts of psychology are quite interesting, but sometimes you can take it
Interesting.
Yeah, but sometimes you can take it too far.
Yeah.
Yeah. And coin too many terms, for example. But the introverted one is since it's a new one I came across in this area.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I just think that we are all multifaceted.
Yeah.
And to put a simple label on us being an introvert or extrovert isn't fair.
Yeah.
There are people who clearly are introverts or extroverts.
Yeah.
I do accept that. My mom is 99% extrovert. But I do find so many people, friends, clients alike, you can't pigeonhole them.
You're actually somewhere in between. Or like you said, actually, at times you're one type and at times you're another type.
Which is exciting.
Yeah, which is good. Yeah, and that's actually, that probably shows you're a deeper person.
Yeah,
you're
we're all
you're-
humans.
you're more 3D.
Humans, we're not machines.
Yep, exactly.
We can't be, all black and white.
Yeah.
You know, I appreciate that we're all different. We all have our distinct personalities.
Yeah.
We're all weird in a sense.
Yeah. Do you think that there are people who like to identify themselves or others as introverts or extroverts because they are perhaps they have a bit of a lack of identity and they think that it puts them in a group kind of.
I just think that they don't know themselves that well, and therefore even they themselves want to put a label on it. I call it laziness, and this psychological, philosophical need for certainty.
Yes.
I think humans really crave certainty.
Yes.
Even if it's false. They want to have a definite answer.
Yeah.
In the course of my work, in my consultancy, people come to me and always seeking absolute answers.
Yeah.
I always refrain from doing that, but I'm most happy to give my opinion.
Yes.
But I refrain from doing that because I think it's a human flaw.
Yes. Humans, you're right. Humans like certainty. They like something they can hold on to as a concept.
Oh, you're an extrovert.
Yeah.
He's an extrovert.
Yeah.
Why should answers be so definite?
Yes.
Especially when I don't even think we can ever gather full information.
No, and it's not a scientific thing where I can say
No.
because of this reason, this is a fact.
Yeah.
It's not.
I nowadays actually what I subscribe to nowadays is placing the best bets. It's just like Texas Hold'em poker. You would never have the full picture.
Yep.
At any time, all you can do is place your best bet
Yep.
in terms of risk,
Mhm.
in terms of reward. Choose the best bet
Yes.
and then wait calmly for the outcome.
The outcome. No, I agree with you. It's the same, like how you said, your clients come to you looking to get certainty, maybe because at the end of the day, we do related sort of professions.
Yeah.
I have lots of clients who always ask me, oh, what is my...
Am I going to win?
Am I going to win? Or what is the percentage?
Yeah.
If I say, I can't tell you if I'm going to win, I can't tell you if you're going to win or lose. They want to know percentage.
You know, they nowadays go to AI.
And they go, don't even get me started on the AI thing.
But you and I both know how crap AI is in predicting or even giving legal advice.
Legal advice, yeah. It's
I
not. It's
never
not,
trust it.
no. And
I mean, what I heard is that the issue is that there aren't enough resources being poured into legal research,
yeah.
legal AI,
Yeah.
and therefore the sort of advice that's produced, at least from what I can see, it doesn't care about jurisdictions. So
Yes.
you ask it a question and it produces advice from Malaysia, Taiwan, China, Japan, all
Yes.
mixed together, as
Yeah.
long as it's about the same subject, topic.
Yeah.
That's dangerous.
It's very dangerous. I just came back last week. Last week I was in Bangkok
Right.
for a conference about
Right.
legal AI.
Right.
And we were exactly talking about how it works with different countries. We've gone quite off topic here, but they were saying that there were a couple of guys who work in legal tech, and they were saying that because the data, obviously AI, as we all know, you feed it data, and that's what it used to produce your results. So one is the issue that you've mentioned, that because they pull in data from lots of different countries, the results are inaccurate. They said the other flip side problem is if you then try to use data from only specific countries to give country-specific advice, the data pool isn't big enough. Like, you know, obviously for like America, UK, you can, but for smaller countries, if you want legal advice by AI from that, the data pool isn't even big enough, so they won't be able to generate good legal advice. But coming back to this note, I always say to the people that come to see me, I can't tell you whether you're going to win or lose. I'm not going to tell you a percentage. I can only tell you these are the considerations you might have.
Yeah.
These are the legal things which might happen, and then you need to work out based on what you...
I think it's a philosophical flaw to always seek outcome.
Yes.
I think it's much better to, I use the term internalization. Just do your best. Give your all.
Yep.
And I figured that long ago. Seb and I, we play football together, and I am regarded as the Hong Kong Inzaghi. Inzaghi being a famous 2000 to about 2015 Italian striker who's basically a poacher. And I subscribe to that sort of philosophy. Being a poacher, you just need to calculate your positioning and timing. Place your bet. You can't control the outcome. You can't control whether the ball will fall in front of you. All you can do is place the best bet, choose your position and timing. Just be there.
Be there.
If the ball comes, good for you. If it doesn't, I've done my best.
Yes.
I think that's a much better sort of philosophy.
Definitely.
Do your best.
That's,
hope for the best.
We like these football. We like taking stories from football.
We do.
And analogies. But
we should do an episode.
We should one day
on what football has taught us.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I know Lewandowski has said a similar thing.
Yeah.
He was also obviously one of the greatest poachers of this generation.
Yeah.
But I remember reading an article where he said he gets in the good positions, like you said. But he also talked about missing chances.
Yeah.
Because even though he's very prolific now as a goal scorer, early in his career he actually missed a lot of chances. But he had.
They all do. They all do. Yeah.
And he talked about how he would get in the right positions, miss a chance, and then he would think, "Oh, it was so easy to score. I had to convert." And then he would have that sort of mental dip, so that even in the same game, he wouldn't be able to. The same game, same chance, he wouldn't produce because he'd be thinking about the chance he just missed.
Yeah.
And then he said he sort of worked on the mental side of things, and then he just told himself, "Okay, if I get in the right position 10 times." I'll get 7 goals.
Yeah.
It might not be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I might miss the first 3, and then the fourth one will be the one I get, and the fifth and the sixth and seventh and eighth, like that. But he said you just have to, it's about like the internalization that you mentioned. You just get in the right spot. You take the chances that comes.
You just
fail
take the
or
right
win.
decisions.
Make the right decision. Outcome is you can't really control.
But over the long run,
Over the long run.
the results will be quite okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no point in sometimes overthinking things too much.
No. I don't take failures as failures. I take failures as data to perfect my decision-making process, to hone my instinct.
Yeah.
I really think that instinct is honed by experience. I don't think success teaches you as much as failure does.
Definitely.
And I like failure in the sense because it makes me better. It's all about focusing on your decision-making ability.
Yes.
And if you're able to do that, then your instinct becomes better and better.
Yeah.
And I care most about how good my instinct is, because that's what's going to help me make better decisions in the short space of time.
Yep. Instinct is definitely something that's accumulation of your
Yeah.
experiences.
Yeah.
People, I think, sometimes misunderstand and think instinct is it's a nature-nurture thing again. I think people sometimes think instinct is something you're born with. But I don't. I think to a certain, when you're very young, maybe, yes, it's intuitive.
Yeah.
But by the
It
time
only gets you so far.
it only gets you so far.
I actually
And then
think
it's
that
actually based on your
my
experience.
instinct by nature is quite bad.
Yeah.
But what I'm good at, and I constantly keep telling my friends and clients, I'm just good at collecting experience.
And then using it to inform your later
My
decisions.
instincts get better and better.
Yeah.
But to go back to our topic, I really think that being an introvert helped in that regard.
Yeah.
Because I'm so good at taking my time,
Yes.
having my own space and time to look back, think it through,
Yes.
and to evaluate.
Yep.
If you're too much of an extrovert,
Yes.
you'd skip that process.
Yep. And that is the key. That's where you learn the most, actually.
You need to hone your craft.
Yes.
Now, our craft, in my view, is we're all alive, living our daily life. We're all life philosophers in a way, practical philosophers. Like it or not, you're born, you're living your life, and therefore you need to hone your practical philosophy, and events, experience.
Yep.
It is what you hone your craft upon.
Definitely.
And therefore, I enjoy failures.
Yep.
I enjoy experience for experience's sake. Collect data, hone your instinct, and you become better.
Yeah. I think that instinct, experience, sort of decision making is definitely a topic I find very interesting. I think we can definitely talk about this one day as a separate podcast. But just to add something to what you said about sort of reflecting on things, I think that's a very introverted thing to do.
Yeah.
To be by yourself with your thoughts, to think about just your experience today, what happened, and then to reflect on it. But particularly with events, I think in the football context, which is one that we will obviously both relate to, and I do this with court experiences as well. You'll think about the performance. So say you scored a goal, and you missed a goal. You will probably spend more time thinking about the missed chance than the one you scored, because you scored it, so you did everything right. With the missed chance, particularly as we know, because we have footage so much these days, sometimes we watch it back and we think, oh, in that moment, I could have done this, or I could have done that. I think that's something that it's quite natural to us as introverts. Watching back football videos is just one example, but we do in other aspects of our life as well. Sometimes when I go back after court, and I think about the hearing that I just had, or the trial, and I'll think about, say, if it's trial and there was cross-examination, I'll think about not just the bits where I cross-examined really well and I got the witness to say something in my favor, but the bits perhaps which didn't go so well. And I'll also think about...
But you take it as a lesson, right?
I take it as a lesson.
Rather than wanting to go back to it and redo it again.
Definitely not. And I don't go back and think, I want to redo it, or I should have done it differently.
Yeah.
It's just, oh, I did this, and this is how it played out.
I think it's very important to accept reality, accept what happened. Not to want to go back to it, but to draw lesson from it so that you can perform better in the future. I think I'm a very pragmatic person. I think to dream about making a difference if I could have a second chance, it's just unrealistic. What's the point?
Are you somebody who doesn't really live with a lot of regrets?
I don't have any regrets. I think one of the key defining features of me is that say I'm on the football pitch and I miss a chance, and I often miss chances, easy chances even. I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care.
Same. I think you just think about the next chance.
Yeah.
When is the next? One is when is the next chance coming?
Yeah.
And the second is how do I put myself in a position to take
Yeah.
the next chance when it comes?
Just consistently put yourself in the best position over a period of time. You'll win.
Yeah.
That is probability, by the way. I one of my strongest subjects when I was at uni was actually probability. I majored in to use an American term, mathematics, and I actually majored in mostly pure maths.
Pure maths,
one of the only
Stats.
applied maths subjects that I was interested in was probability.
Probability and stats.
It
right?
teaches you a lot about life. I was never interested in subjects like mechanics.
Yep.
Ballistic projection, stuff like that. Anything physical.
Yeah.
But anything theoretical, like probability, I loved it.
Probability is very difficult.
And probability
maths
taught me that all you need to do is to constantly make the best decisions, place yourself in the best positions. Over the long run, you win out.
Yep.
That's why, by the way, I never visit casinos. Because all your bets are guaranteed to be suboptimal, and over the long run, you guaranteed to lose. That was one of my first tutorials at Oxford to figure out that you can never beat the house.
You can't beat the house,
yeah. But in life, if you can constantly place your best bets, for example, on the football pitch, I constantly place myself in the best position in the penalty box. Over the long run, you're basically guaranteed to win out. But that shouldn't be your priority.
No.
Don't focus on the outcome. Focus on the decision making. But then decision making takes introspection. That is, by the way, a related term of being an introvert. Introspection, right? Introvert, introspection. That gives me a lot of comfort.
Do you think that introverts are more self-critical than extroverts, or is that too much of a generalization?
That's true, but then I wouldn't say that's unhealthy unless you overdo it. I think being self-critical is important.
Provided that you don't
overdo
it so that you have it has a negative effect on you.
It shouldn't damage your self-worth. But anyone who doesn't have any sort of self-critical moments, I think that person's deluded. I never believed in overconfidence, bravado. That's just being too rash, really. You don't want that. Moderation, balance really is the key
in life, really.
But I think a lot of people don't get the balance right. In that you're either arrogant, although I don't see that many people like that in Hong Kong.
Arrogant.
Most people in Hong Kong take balance as being too humble, with too much humility.
Right.
I don't agree with that either. I think the general confident outlook is the way to go.
Genuine confidence.
You need that. But that doesn't mean you have no introspection. That doesn't mean that you're not self-critical. You should still evaluate. You should still teach yourself lessons. Which is very healthy.
But getting the balance right is the key. Having nuance in life is something I think people struggle with.
But to people in Hong Kong, my general observation is that a lot of people, I'm not too sure, by the way, if it's entirely based on nature, but certainly because of nurture, they tend to be introverted,
Yes.
and they tend to think it a problem.
Yes. Rather than
The
embracing
reason why they are disadvantaged
Yeah.
in workplace,
Yeah.
in love life, and whatever. I say this: value yourself. Don't dismiss yourself for being an introvert. We are introverts. We value the ability to introspect.
Yep.
And it shouldn't affect your ability to be a social being.
No. I think I think the key is that whether you're introverted or extroverted, you should embrace whichever personality type you are.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, if you're introverted, then lean into the fact that it will allow you to be more introspective.
Yeah.
Or if you're extroverted, then lean into the fact that it will allow you to make more connections with people.
Yeah.
Because you're naturally more inclined to talk to people.
Yeah.
Like, it's just about finding out, I think, what works for you based on your personality, and not thinking, oh, I'm extroverted, it means that I'm, socially deficient. Or if I'm extroverted, oh, it means I can't be self-critical.
I totally agree, but the prerequisite is the ability to think well.
Yes, of course.
That comes down to the Stoic virtue of wisdom, the ability to tell.
Yep.
That's what we need, and the key to develop wisdom is to stick to the drive, the demand for rational thinking. I think people in Hong Kong all have undergone a rational education, albeit it's in physics, chemistry, biology, economics, etc. The key is to, in a way, continue, not to betray it, not to. As soon as you leave school, you leave all rational thinking. I do find a lot of people in Hong Kong behaving like that because they hated it, because they reject.
I see.
The educational experience.
Right. So you think because they had such a structured education, the minute they're free from those constraints,
rebel against it.
They rebel against it.
They think that now I'm free.
Right.
I can be all emotional. I can be myself. Well, I think in that case, you're denying all the valuable experience that you gain in your upbringing. I will never reject rational thinking, and I think it helps. But it's about applying that rational thinking in life philosophy. The challenge is transitioning from academic
rational
education, physics, chemistry, whatever subject,
applying it in a very
into life philosophy. But to me, it's not that different. It's not an entirely different arena. I think it's the same.
Provided you have sort of the emotional maturity and thinking to know how to apply it to life. Outside of, because
what Hong Kong people I think are bad at, because of the education system, is, say I studied law, then I'd only understand the strict discipline of law. Anything beyond it, anything different, not only are they ignorant, but proudly so. The problem is they don't have this British concept of the gentleman amateur. What I like about the English is that it doesn't matter whether I've studied it or not. I'd be able to have a rational opinion on it. But Hong Kong people are taught that if you never studied it, if you don't have a degree in it, a government education certificate in it, then don't pretend
and
you know anything about it.
Don't opine about it.
So it's this sense of professionalism going to extreme, and we need to go back to the ability of using your rational thinking and applying it into different areas.
That's a bit of it. We've sort of moved away from our topic, but that's quite interesting concept because, for example, Oxbridge interviews, which you will know from taking them, the concept, as I understand it, is they ask you questions about things you don't know.
Yeah.
The whole point is to ask you things that you don't know and see how you respond and
Yeah.
answer to it.
Yeah. They don't want you to know too much.
They don't want you to know too much.
They really want you to be able to demonstrate the ability to think generally.
Yeah, right. And so I think because of the education that we had, the way we were taught to approach these interviews was not to try and read up on as many possible topics as possible.
No, I hardly read, by
because
the way.
you can't. Because you won't be able to predict. You know, for maths, they could ask you any type of questions. For classics, they could have asked me anything.
Yeah.
But it was just to think about the thought process.
Yeah.
And to work on how you might explain or put into words.
Yeah. Basically, the ability to think and
the
evaluate.
ability to think critically and explain it.
Yeah.
Whilst I think an Asian approach to a similar type of interview would be, okay, if I know I'm going to get asked, say it's a literature classic, say it's a literature Oxbridge interview, they can only ask one of these 200 books.
Yeah.
So you should go away and try and read as many of these as possible or know a little bit about each of them. That might be their approach.
I think Hong Kong people think that it's all about how much you know.
Yeah.
But the elite education in the UK, and we're most familiar with that.
Yeah, obviously.
It's all about how well you can think.
Yeah, that's how we can think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very different...
And yeah, that gave me the confidence to move from mathematics into philosophy, the subject I never touched upon until I was 20. And then on to law.
Yep.
Never thinking that because I'm a mathematics graduate, I can never do law. I found it most easy, by the way. And the most famous judge ever, really, to some extent, is Lord Denning, someone who studied mathematics at Oxford with a start first. The point is that I think it's completely okay to be either an extrovert or an introvert. It's not that critical a factor.
It's not. It doesn't determine your life.
Yeah, some people think that because I'm an introvert, I can never do certain things in life,
I can't do certain jobs,
because I'm an extrovert. That's bullshit. That I totally reject that. I think it's this modern taken too far psychiatry approach.
It's like the kind of woke culture.
That is self-limiting. And what I say is break through it. Don't be limited by it. Either way, there's more than two ways now. It's not binary anymore because of the different labels that you gave me. I think can do very well. Key is to be able to think it through and strive.
Understand yourself.
That's the key.
Think about it and understand.
On that bombshell, this is it. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon again.